Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It is Monday, Sep- goodness sakes. It is Monday, May 29th, 2023, and I am pre-recording this so I could spend some time with friends for a cookout today. So if you are here, please comment, even though it's not live. And tell me where you're from. So I'm going to get started since I'm not waiting for comments to show up right now and let you know what we're doing. Last week, I also showed the paper florist dies, and I'll show you this again if you weren't here last week. And let's flip you down to my desktop so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. The paper florist dies. They are a standalone die in the annual catalog, and they can be found on page 165. So they'll go with any stamp set. And if you want to see more about the paper florist, you can look back at last week's video, which was live on the 23rd. And by this time next week, we're going to be in June. Can you believe that? So if you're having a cookout today, maybe you already had it. I hope you've had a good weekend. This is the holiday that leads up to summer, and school's almost over. Pools are opening. Finally, the weather is getting pretty good too. And summer vacations are being planned. So there's just so much going on right now. I know the young boys who are doing some yard work for me finished school Friday, and I know they were really excited. They're seniors, they're graduating on Wednesday, so it's an exciting time of the year for a lot of people. But unlike other holidays, this is a holiday of remembrance and remembering those who sacrificed their lives for us. And with that being said, I have a poppy card to share with you today. Now, I remember growing up, veterans would always be at a local store or the bank or something, usually on a Saturday, I think, when a lot of people would be out, and they would pass out paper poppies because that is the flower of remembrance. So I did do a little bit of research on it and figured out that we could use the paper florist to create a poppy as best as I can. So let's get started. This will be kind of short and sweet today. And let's gather my supplies here. So I'm using some blueberry bushel, which is one of our returning colors that we had a while back. And there's going to be a piece of basic white on there. And where did my designer paper go? Oh my goodness. Well, I will just grab another piece, which brings me to a designer series paper sale that's going to happen from June 1st. Let's get a picture of it here. From June 1st through June 30th, and select papers, I believe there are 13 of them, that will be 15% off through the month of June. And these will all be papers from the annual catalog as well as some online exclusives. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be showcasing these designer papers for you. So the one I'm going to use today is the Glorious Gingham. And we all love ginghams. I think I used this a little bit last week too. And it has blueberry bushel. Let's read them back here. Berry burst, lemon lime twist, pecan pie, and pretty peacock. And as I said, the blueberry bushel is a returning color. Lemon lime twist is returning. So is the Lost Lagoon. And let's see, what did I say that one was? Berry Burst, that's also returning. And then we have Pecan Pie, which is a brand new color. So there are the colors in this selection. So we have the larger of the gingham on one side, and then the smaller checked gingham on the other side. Oops, let's get that Berry Burst there. So I know this is going to be very popular, and I will be using it a lot. So along with this theme, I'm going to stick with the red, white, and blue. And last year we did have a stamp set that did have some poppies in it, but we still have Poppy Parade as one of our core colors of ink and paper and marker, and also the Stampin' Blends. But let me show you a picture that I pulled off of the internet of poppies, and I think this is so pretty. So it is kind of a red fluffy one. Looks a little transparent there that you can see, and it's got a black center. So that's what I will be featuring. All right, so we've got a base of blueberry bushel that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I'll be putting a piece of white in there as well. And goodness sakes, things escaped me right there at the very end before I pressed the button, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out. So I guess I put the piece of paper back that I was going to use. So let's get that back. So it's a little unusual for me to pre-record one of my videos. So I kind of miss the interaction with people who are on with me live. So I'm going to be using a piece of this, which is the 6 by 6, and let's cut that down so it will fit. And okay, so I need for it to be 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And of course I won't let that go to waste. Let's see, I think I cut that. Let's measure this, because I think I cut that wrong. That's 4 1/8, and I thought this was, that's 4 1/8. Okay, so this needs to be 4. What do they always say? Measure twice, cut once. So I think in the scheme of things, it's not going to make that much difference, because I'm going to cut this down again anyway. So let's also adjust this to make this 5 1/4. Oops, I got wires all over the place here. Okay, so after all that little mess, let's cut this at an angle, because I only want part of it. So there's no real measurement there. I just cut it at an angle. So that will go on like that. Now the other color that I'm going to use, because it does go with, believe it or not, the Poppy Parade, is Lemon Lime Twist. And then I'll be doing some stamping with the Blueberry Bushel. I have the Poppy Parade here, but I don't know that I'm going to use that one today. The other stamp sets that I'm going to pull on is Nature's Prints, and use this leaf image here. I like that better for going behind this than I do from the paper Florist. And then for sentiments, I'm going to pull out one that I've not used in a while, and it's called Charming Sentiments. And I'm going to use the Beyond Grateful. And what's nice about these, you can use them independently. You could put another punch with them, but these have dies that go around and match all of these sentiments. So to make this a little bit easier, I've written on here. Otherwise, it would be kind of hard to see what I was doing. So this was the Beyond Grateful, and I do have it already die cut out, but I haven't stamped on it yet. And because it's photopolymer, it's going to be pretty easy to figure out how to get that in the right place. Unfortunately, we don't have our Stamparatus anymore, so I can't use that. But this set of dies also has some stars, some hearts, some birthday candles, things that look like it's a flame, things that could be used for maybe the 4th of July. So there's a lot here, and the sentiments are wonderful. So if you don't have that one, that's a carryover. We've had that for a couple years. I think we've had it for more than a year. But anyway, it's a great stamp set and coordinating dies. So before I create this poppy, let's see, let's get this back out. And get that ready to go. So here's the poppy. I've got my silicone craft sheet. I have a circle punch. I think that's the circle that I used. That's a little bit big. Hold on while I grab. This is not a punch we have, but it's a 1-inch circle punch, and you could use, you could use, I think, the 1-inch circle punch. So let me grab that. Sorry about that. I guess I wasn't as organized as I thought I was. So I'm going to put this in here because that's just a little bit too big. And you could use a punch from Stylish Shapes, but I just thought that was a little bit big, but I'll save that for something. That's what I do. That's why I have so many pieces of paper. But anyway, I have already punched out or die cut out these large petals. Now, this is one that I did not use last week. I showed it to you. Let me grab one that I did have made, this was definitely not a poppy shape. And then I put one of those little centers in there. So this was the large leaf die. And there are so many good ideas with this. So there is a crease here, or a slit, designed to fold this over, which I think I showed last week. I'm not going to do that today because the poppy is a little bit different, at least from what I was figuring out online. And there's also a little place here where I can kind of score this across and make a little shelf so that when I put that on there, I can bend it up. But I also saw that there were some little like creases in the petals. So I'm going to grab my Pierce mat, and I have the stylus tool on my Take a Pick tool. And on this one, there is a small point and then a larger one for stylus. So I'm just going to add some lines down through these petals just to give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm going to do, I think, 8 of these. And I did see lots of different poppies. I think one said that different varieties had 6 petals. So it varied between 4 and 6. So let's see how this goes. So I'm just putting those little lines in there, and I've got plenty. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 6. I'm going to see if I actually need this many. Okay. So there's actually a little line there. So you can pull that up and make a little shelf. So that's what I want to do. All right, so let's get back to our little circle here. And back to the silicone mat. And I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal to add adhesive to that circle. And this is a Seal Plus, so it tends to kind of bend over. So this is strong stuff. So I'm going to start by putting that there, and then just build it and go across. Put another one in there. I think I might need to add a little bit more adhesive there. Okay, now that circle down there, back there, is holding this together. So when I want to build it, I'm going to build up from here and not go behind. So that becomes the base. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this petal. and just build it up from the center. So in reality, if you were making a different type of flower, you could make much, much bigger flowers and build it out with a bigger base at the bottom, depending upon what flower it is you are trying to create. I mean, I can see making a wreath, got all kinds of visualizations with this, so at least that's my plan. Oh, and I love this. So, okay, I used all those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I did need 8. Okay, so that needs some lines back in there again. Okay, and then you can fluff it up. Now, I cut out of one of the dies this one. And a couple of these. Now, when I first saw this, I thought these were double of the same thing, and they're not, which I found out when I cut them out. This one has this large circle and then a little one with the dots in it, and then this one has a large dot one for the center and a small circle. So those are not the same. These two are the same, which I'm not using on this one. But there is plenty of creativity right there on that sheet. All right, so I'm going to put this in the center. Now it's beginning to look more like a real poppy because the poppies have that black center, which I absolutely love. So for that, let's use a mini glue dot. So this is a simple card. And then I'm going to use one of these small dots to go in the center. Or small circles. This one doesn't really have the dots on it. Oh, what do you think? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay. Now, I have chosen Beyond Grateful for the sentiment to go on here as the patriotic sentiment, because we are very grateful for those who serve and have lost their lives. All right, so I have 3 of these cut out, and I'm going to layer them. Have you ever thought of layering your dies like this to make them pop a little bit better? So let's use Blueberry Bushel. And hope I don't have my head in the way here. Okay, I think that one went, yeah, that one's, I can still layer on it, but let's do another one. I don't think that one is very good. This is where we need a stamp positioning tool. There, that one will be good. That's good. Okay, I'm going to grab my tweezers here. And let's get it going the right way. And add some adhesive to this, little dots of it. Get back in the camera. And then I can still use this one too. So I hope you had a good weekend too, leading up to this holiday, with the Monday holidays. There we go. So with those three on there, it will add a little bit more dimension to the card instead of just plopping one of them down there. And so let's put this together. Okay, a little bit of liquid glue here. There we go. And okay, this is going to go right here. So I'm going to grab my lemon lime twist. You wouldn't think that these two colors go together, and I can't honestly say that this is the exact color that would be for a poppy, but it goes with our Poppy Parade ink. So I'm going to go with that, and I know that it will look good. So let's see where I want this to go. And I want two of these. And it even looks good with the blueberry bushel. I think it's a great contrast. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, before I do that and add that to the card, I'm going to do something with the Wink of Stella. See, is that the one that I want? One of them has some funky color on it. And this will kind of highlight where I put the lines in with the stylus tool and make those pop out a little bit more. And put a little in the center too. That really helps a lot. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. This is something that kind of crazy that I came up with. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of that onto my silicone mat. Should be enough left in there. So I've got a little puddle of it. And then I'm going to grab this kind of old Wink of Stella that has lots of other colors on it from other things. And I'm going to add some Blueberry Bushel Reinker to that little puddle. Just one little drop. One drop. Did a lot. Hope I didn't overdo it here. So, okay, I'm going to test that on something first. Might be a little bit more intense than I wanted. Let's see what we've got here before I ruin my card, because I did something on the other card that maybe you saw online. Where's this here? There we go. Oh, okay, that's going to be good. And I want to add that spatter, so you get a sparkle with the spatter. On the card, if you can see that, instead of just using the spatter from your marker. So it's another good way of having your reinker. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Yes. Now, I won't let that go to waste. I'll show you something else with that in a minute. So let's put this together and add some adhesive to the back of this. And since this is already popped up, I'm not going to add a dimensional to the back of this, but add liquid adhesive. And put that down here along the bottom. And it's nice to be able to line it up on that little grid of the paper. Now let's grab this and put dimensionals on the back of that. And it's flattening out a little bit, and if it goes in the mail, it would get flat anyway, so I don't think that's a problem. But I just am in love with that poppy. And I think that these could be made into something that you could actually wear. Put another, put maybe some dimensionals back there. I don't know. I will have to think that out. And then put either a pin or a small magnet could go back there. So there is my poppy, my remembrance poppy for Memorial Day. So let me know what you think. I'd be honored if you would share this and let somebody else see it too. Now let me grab this other piece of basic white and show you what can be done with this leftover. Let me cut this down. So I've got my usual little mess here, which is what I do. To create a background with that, so it doesn't go to waste. And just use that to create a wash with your Wink of Stella and 1 drop of re-inker. So I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one. Then I'll show you the other one that that I did do, and kind of make a little gingham with this too. So it's got all that beautiful glimmer in there from the Wink of Stella. And I will just save this for another project. But it's very shimmery, if you can see that. So I have a thought for how to do that, but let me show you the other one that I did. This was the one that I put on the preview for the multi-stream for the video, when I was trying to figure out what to do with the leftover there. And this little card was made with one of the other flowers. That was made with this one, with 2 small and 2 large, and I used the large ones on this to make a patriotic red, white, and blue thank you. So that's what we have for today. And let's get this one back again. Kind of clean up my little mess here. So I can use up some of that other. So when you have a Wink of Stella that has reached its limits, save that, use that brush to do with things like this, so you have some leftover. Oops. Okay, so here's this card. Here's the one that I made today. And then here is my prototype card. And on this one, I did not spatter the blue in here. I decided to do that when I did this card. And so that's why I decided to do that on this one for the video. So there's our 2 poppies, our remembrance poppies. So take care, have a great rest of the week, and welcome June on Thursday. And don't forget that there is a designer series paper sale starting on Thursday, and you can order from me at patmayer.stampinup.net, and I would appreciate that so much if you don't have a demonstrator that you work with. So with that being said, have a great rest of the day and evening. Enjoy, and I will see you next Monday, and I will be live again. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.